You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button.
How do you feel about hiring Kyle Williams? I'm asking you player perspective because there's a thing about this that everyone loves. From Rustin, played at LSU, 03 national champion, loves the Tigers, skins on the wall, 13 years in the NFL, made a pile of money. Everything everybody in his defensive line room wants to do and be, he's done. Instant credibility, all that. He's never coached in college, has never recruited. I mean, you don't typically go from high school to your first college job is LSU. I mean, we crushed Brian Kelly for hiring Robert Steeples when he got the job. He let Corey Raymond go, and he brought in Robert Steeples. His first ever college job was LSU cornerback job. That didn't go so hot. So it's a risk. Like, there's a ton of love about it, but it's also objectively fair to say it's a risk. So let me ask you. You played, like, what would you think? You didn't play football, but
if I was the hitting coach at LSU for the baseball team right now, I think I would do a fabulous job. Like, I love coaching and giving back and helping the kids, and I think I've got a knack for it. I, just like Kyle, have skins on the wall and played professionally, and I don't have that drive to go coach in college. Do I think I'd be good at it? Absolutely. There's a communication piece, there's a trust piece, there's a respect piece that you have to have. He checks every single one of those boxes, and hats off to him for wanting to come back and do this. This is a 365 days out of the year job. There is no off season. There is, you just said it, recruiting, in-home visits, summer workouts. Like, it doesn't college coaching in college is a extremely demanding job. And this dude who doesn't have to do this financially says, you know what? I'm in. Like, this is what I want to do. Bro, if he wants it, 100%, it's his.
So here's the thing, too. Like, we talked about this a few years back where there was at least, we can talk about this now openly. There were at least exploratory conversations about you joining the LSU baseball staff.
Yeah.
Under Paul Maneri, so former staff. It would have required some things like you would have had to go back to school.
Yeah, not doing that.
But also all the practices, all the games, all the everything, and you don't want to do that either.
Correct.
Like, your thing was, if I could show up for a few hours at the park a day and work with the hitters, cool. I'm putting words in your mouth.
No, that you're right. We talked about this. You're exactly right.
My point is, this is all of those things.
Listen,
it's not
right.
Show up and coach defensive line because you got a knack for it. This is all of the all encompassing with being one of 10 full-time staff members at a place like LSU. It's a really demanding job, and there is a lot in it. I have no doubt Kyle Williams could go on the field and teach Jacoby and Guillory hand placement, rip, move, swim, do drill. Like, no doubt in my mind he can get those dudes motivated to play. It's all of the everything.
That's what I want him for, though. I want him to take the talent that comes to this school and make them elite in NFL staples like he was. That's what I want. You just mentioned the 10 full-time staffers, but there's so many other analysts and this and that can provide him some support and some help from the recruiting standpoint, from the day-to-day stuff, from the film stuff. I want the best coach that can go out there and do that. And trust me, he's sat and looked at this and gone, okay, I've got kids, I've got this, I've got that. Man, this could take a lot of time, but this is who I am. Like, this is what I want to do. He is a lifer. He's a football coach. Where better else to do it than here?
But you know what's really interesting, man, and I know you can relate to this too. So Kyle's 41, and he's got daughters that play soccer. And one of the things, like, he just stopped coaching at Ruston, and this, like, kind of the word was, like, he wanted to take a step back to have more time to watch his daughters play.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
whew, this is dramatically different than being the DC at Ruston.
No, you're in.
You're in. So, I want to be clear. Like, I'm as fired up as everyone else is because everyone loves Kyle Williams.
Yes.
Okay? I don't want there to be any misconception. I'm only saying and presenting the other side of the coin for the sake of having a very fair conversation about this, where these are things that you have to consider as well with this. But I'm going to tell you, man, I think more than anything, because Kyle wasn't part of the initial wave of candidates. And we talked about it here. Gerald Chapman was offered the job. Ultimately, one of the real sticking points was, he was going to have to make over probably close to $700,000 here, and he had to buy out north of $300K at Florida. When you're talking about, and LSU didn't want to pay it. So when you're talking about the revenue share era, where LSU's finding ways to cut in the budget, now you're going to go set $300K on fire?
Yeah.
To buy a position coach out of his contract? Like, there's just not an appetite for that anymore. So you get through this initial wave of candidates. I think the financial component was another part of this, where you didn't have to pay another school. He wasn't coaching at a college. You didn't have to pay another school's buyout. And you're not going to have to pay him $1.25 that you were paying Bo Davis.
Yeah, what's he going to make?
I don't know.
Is that out there yet?
It's not.
Is it enough to buy my house?
Kyle, I looked it up yesterday. Kyle's career earnings in the NFL, I think, was $55.7 million.
Okay, he's good.
He can afford your house, okay?
I'll even owner finance it. Yeah. Kyle, I'll owner finance, bro. You're in.
All right. I'll be curious to see if Kyle's out there. I mean, all the reports are he's taking the job. Right? There hasn't been an official announcement from LSU yet.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the practice field Saturday. We do not have media availability Saturday. Our first availability, I think, is Tuesday. Let me check this. So we'll know definitively if LSU hasn't put an announcement out there. Like, we'll know. We will know as soon as we're out there. Sorry, I'm scrolling the schedule here. Let's see. The first media avail is going to be Wednesday. So they practice Saturday, no access. They practice Tuesday, no access. Wednesday, we get the first 20 minutes, and then we talk to Brian Kelly after practice. So Wednesday will be the first time media puts eyes on practice. So we'll see if Kyle Williams is out there on Wednesday.
Okay.
That'll be the day to look at.
Man, if he's in, it's a home run. If he's in, like in.
I'm fascinated, dude. I'm fascinated to see it. I'd be lying if I told you there wasn't a degree of skepticism because of the very fair conversations we have. What I just mentioned, like guys like Robert Steeples. But the flip side of it too is, look, when Ed Ogeron got the job, and he brought Pete Jenkins with him as an interim in 16, and Coach Pete stayed in 17. When Coach Pete retired, he hired Meatball, Dennis Johnson, who was a GA. And that was at the time a really risky move. Like, at LSU, you don't promote a GA. Like, you don't get your first full-time job at LSU. You go to Nichols. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You go to Southeastern. Sorry, Paulie. You go to South, but no, like, no disrespect, but like, that's what you do. You go cut your teeth and then you elevate. So it's just, and by the way, the point of that is that Meatball crushed it.
Yeah.
He went from LSU then to Baylor with Dave Aranda. He's the defensive line coach of the Baltimore Ravens right now. Like, he's crushed it. He was a great hire. So this could be that as well.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.